All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ethan Dunn, and I'm a licensed attorney here in Michigan. One of the things that we do here is we help entrepreneurs and business owners in their path through each of the stages of a business. Oftentimes, young entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs who are just getting started come to us and they ask us, "Hey, I need to set up a business. I have this great idea. I want to move it forward, but I know that I need the legal structure around it so that I can do everything the right way." A common request is for us to establish a limited liability company for our customers. And after almost 20 years of doing this, one of the things that I've realized is that it's relatively simple to set up a basic limited liability company or LLC. And two, it might be valuable for some of you out there to have an instructional video on exactly how to do that here in the state of Michigan. We'll go through today the steps that are required to establish a limited liability company, which I'll continue to refer to as an LLC here in Michigan. And then we'll actually point out some things that you should be aware of, some questions that may arise through the process. But at the end of this, what you should be able to do, if you follow the steps, is to establish your own limited liability company or LLC here in Michigan. So let's get started. The website that you're going to go to is michigan.gov/LARA. And LARA is simply the Licensing and Regulatory Affairs Division of the Michigan state government. And if you scroll down right over to the right here, you'll see Popular Resources and Business Entity Search. The reason that we have you go here is because everyone has a name that they want for their business. And the first thing you need to do is to determine whether that particular business name or something similar to it is already in use. So I'm just going to call it Ethan Dunn Limited. It's a random name. I'm going to check it out. And if you look down here at the bottom, it says no record found. Try a new search using different criteria. What that does is it lets me know that this name is available for the new business that I'm setting up. You really want to make sure that you use something unique because if you try to do something that's similar to another name, number one, the system may pick it up and let you know that there's someone else using that name. But then there's also the possibility that whatever business you're establishing is similar to another business with the same name, and then you run into issues of confusion and all of the things related to that, including and up to cease and desist letters. And frankly, we've had that happen with some of our clients previously. So once you've got a name where there are no records found, you're going to scroll back to the top here where it says Online Services, and you are going to click there. You're going to scroll down through the online services that are available for you. You'll see a few different categories. Go right down to Corporations, Securities, and Commercial Licensing Bureau. And here you're going to click on the Corporations Online Filing System, also known as COFS. It'll take you to the online filing system, and right under the sign in, it'll ask if you are forming a new entity, click here. This is where you're going to go. The rest of the information on this page is primarily geared toward entities that have already been established and need to meet certain filing requirements or make changes. So we're going to click there and select our online form. Now this is a very robust set of options that they give you here, from everything from a domestic limited liability company, foreign LLCs, profit companies, professional corporations, nonprofit corporations, and everything in between, all of the different types of entities that you might file. But today we're focusing on one, which is the most common, which is the Domestic Limited Liability Company 700. We're going to click on that form right there, and it'll take us right to the form Articles of Organization for use by domestic limited liability companies in Michigan. So the first thing we're going to do is fill out the form. So Article 1 requires the name of the limited liability company. So Ethan, I'm calling my company Ethan Dunn Limited LLC. And then we'll go on to Article 2. Unless the articles otherwise provide, all limited liability companies have formed under this act have the purpose of engaging in any activity within the purposes for which an LLC may be formed under the LLC Act of Michigan. You may provide a more specific purpose. So I summarize that paragraph to say this. Article 2 allows you to form an LLC for any purpose that an LLC may be formed. And it's so broad that it generally encompasses everything. The only time that you would fill this Article 2 in is if you intentionally wanted to limit to limit the LLC to performing or to having a purpose that is not nearly as broad as what is allowed under the Act. So for instance, if you wanted to limit the purpose of the LLC to specifically investing in commercial real estate, that is something you could do. You would want to seek some professional advice in terms of whatever those limitations are, simply because once this is established and once those purposes are established, you then are very narrow in terms of what you might be able to do. I typically leave this blank just to allow our clients the leeway that they might need as they're starting out in business. Moving on to Article 3, the duration of the limited liability company, if other than perpetual, is, again, this is where you can specifically limit how long this LLC will last. The default language says that this LLC can live forever, perpetually. If you have a reason for intentionally limiting the duration of the existence of the LLC, this is where you would put that information. Article 4, the street address of the registered office of the limited liability company and the name of the resident agent at the registered office. Here it says specifically that P.O. boxes are not acceptable. So the question about the registered office and the resident agent. The registered office is the office at which you will receive your mail. So for instance, oftentimes we will set up companies for our clients and our law office will serve as their registered office. And the reason that we do that is because any legal notifications, any information about the company, any tax notifications, those will all, at least initially, be set to be received at the registered office. And what you want is the registered office to be somewhere that is going to be able to respond to the notifications or any notifications or notices that you receive. And oftentimes you will want it to be somewhere other than where you live, because this is a public document. This document here will be filed with the licensing and regulatory agency, and it will be public. It will live in the public domain. Many of our clients simply do not want to have their home address listed. Some do. It's entirely up to you. So the resident agent will be the name of the individual or of the person that will serve as the agent. So for instance, if I'm serving as the agent, I will put Ethan D. Dunn, ESQ, and I will put 2937 East Grand Boulevard, Suite 308, Detroit, Michigan, 48202. So we have a physical address at which all mail would be received. They also give you an option under Section 3 to have and list a registered office mailing address, which can be different from the physical address required under Article 4. If you choose to have a separate P.O. box that's set up for mailing notifications, etc., that's where you would provide that information here under Section 3. There is the option as well to add additional articles to your LLC formation documents. Articles 5, 6, however many you decide you would like, is provided beneath. To include any of the following optional articles, you may type in the next article number. Space is provided for adding additional articles or the continuation of previous articles. Each article must be identified with an article number. So the next article will be 5, 6, 7, and so on. For our purposes today, we are not going to dig into when or why additional articles will be needed. I would definitely, if you're considering that, seek professional advice on as to why or when it would be appropriate for you to do that. The same thing goes for the effective date. You will need to fill in the effective date only if you do not want your LLC to start on the date of filing. If you want a later effective date, then you would put that effective date in, and keep in mind that it cannot be more than 90 days, 3 months, after this document is submitted and received by the administrator. Again, not going to go into detail on that, simply because what we're doing today is focusing on how you, the entrepreneur, can set up your business. Okay, and so as we continue on, we've talked about the addition of articles, we've talked about the effective date. What we then need to do is add the organizer. So in this section below, it says signed the 2nd day of August 2024 by the organizers. Who is the organizer? Well, the organizer is simply the person organizing this entity, the limited liability company. The organizer does not have to be a member of the LLC. The organizer is truly just that. Doesn't have to be a member of an LLC or an executive or anything like that. It has to be the person that's been assigned to organize. So for instance, in our firm, I am usually, or someone in my team is serving as the organizer of the entity. So what we will do is we'll add a new entrant to this list. And I will put Ethan D. Dunn. And I'll serve as the organizer. I could serve as the attorney in fact, but for me, I'm simply the organizer. One point of note here that I want to make sure you understand is that there is a difference between an organizer and an attorney in fact. An organizer is someone who's been given the authority to establish a business like this, the limited liability company, and that authority ends once this work and this entity is established. An attorney in fact is someone who you have given authority to act on behalf of your business, and that authority doesn't necessarily end upon completion of this process. So I think that's an important distinction to note. But in our case, we're going to indicate that we are serving simply as the organizer for the entity. By selecting accept, I hereby acknowledge that this electronic document is being signed in accordance with the Act. I further certify that to the best of my knowledge, the information provided is true, accurate, and in compliance with the Act. If you put your name on here, or when you put your name here on this document, it is your electronic signature, and you are making this certification that the information that you're providing is true, accurate, and in compliance with the Act. So what is important is that you make sure you understand exactly what you're signing, and that you do understand that what you are including in this document does comply with the Act. And by the Act, we're referencing right back up here, Act 23 of Public Acts of 1993, also known as the Limited Liability Company Act of Michigan. So we're going to accept that, duty and responsibility, and the certificate. We're going to certify that to the best of our knowledge and that the information is true, accurate, and in compliance. And we're going to simply add me as the organizer. And what then populates next are special instructions, if there are any that apply to the submission. Typically, there are not. There are certain instances in which there would be. Those are a bit more complex. That is not what we're covering today. It's not within the purview. What we then do is go ahead and fill out the submitter's contact information. So Ethan Dunn, my business name, Maxwell Dunn, PLC, 2937 East Boulevard. Fill out all of your contact information, or whoever is serving as the organizer or attorneys in fact contact information, or whoever is submitting this document, their contact information. Provide your phone number. I usually provide and our email address. So in the event that the filing is rejected, or if there's anything incorrect, what will happen is that the administrator will email you immediately to say, hey, we received your filing, but there was something that was wrong with it, and we need you to correct it. They will provide instructions on the portions that were incorrect. Oftentimes, many times it's related to a name. We've had certain ones come back, but if you follow this process, there shouldn't be anything that comes back to you. With respect to statutory notices, the most important of which is likely going to be the notice of renewal that you have to do each year. You will be required to pay a fee for the continuation of your LLC. Provide your email address here so that you can receive those statutory notices. You can receive it via mail at the registered office. I typically don't recommend it simply because I like to get information as quickly as possible so that I have as much time to cure any deficiencies as possible, or to resolve any deficiencies as quickly as I can, or be responsive to the requests from the government that we receive. The level of service is the next area that you'll have to choose. You can pick expedited services, which are listed below. It'll give you kind of the specifics about what options you have. Unless you're in a rush, I don't necessarily recommend it, because the office is, for as long as I've been doing this, been pretty responsive, and it typically, even with standard review, doesn't take more than a couple of days to receive your articles of organization along with the articles endorsement. So I'm going to pick standard review, and so the only fee that you will have to pay is the fee required for the document. When you click OK, what it will then do is take you back to the summary of everything that you just filled in, all the way from Articles 1 through 4, any additional articles, and they just ask you to check it, make sure that everything is true, accurate, and complete before hitting the button to submit. Now, if we submit this filing, what we will do is then be brought to a payment selection. The filing fee is $50 to file your limited liability company. You can click on enter credit card details, or you can establish an account. If you need questions about the payment methods, the contact telephone number and email are here. Once you click on enter credit card details, it will take you to an outside site, which is this site here. The pay place is what the state of Michigan uses. Input your credit card information, and once the information is input, you will hit submit, and as soon as your payment is accepted, it will indicate that your document has been uploaded and has been filed with the state, and that, my friends, is how you set up a basic domestic limited liability company here in the state of Michigan. I hope this is helpful for you. There are a few more steps that are required, but at this point, once you receive back your articles of organization along with your articles endorsement, the state of Michigan has recognized that you do own this limited liability company, or that this has recognized that this limited liability company has been established in the state of Michigan. There are a couple of additional items that you will need in order to begin banking, to have employees, and etc. We will talk about that in another video. Specifically, you will need to obtain an employee identification number, also known as a tax ID number. We will go through in a separate video how to obtain that. And then we will also oftentimes, especially if you have partners, you will want to have an operating agreement. And an operating agreement is what lays out how your business specifically will run. It is not a public document, but it is a document that can be relied on by you, by any partners, members, or members that you have, and it is a framework for how you will want to run your company. We don't have enough time to get into that. It isn't something that's required in order for you to, establish a bank account and go to work in your business, especially as a single member limited liability company. But as you expand, those are things that you will want to consider. Those are things that you will probably want to find more professional help with, simply because the levels of complexity become a bit stronger, and you do want to understand exactly what it is that's required of you to properly operate your entity here in Michigan. I hope this has been helpful for you. If you enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. And if there's anything specific that you also would like to know about, we are here. We're doing this because we love entrepreneurs. We love to work with them. We are them. And we want to make your process as seamless as possible. And we do understand the challenges of starting, running, and growing a small business. So we're here to help. If there's anything we can do for you, feel free to look us up online, www.maxwelldunlaw.com. Our telephone number is there. You can also reach us at 248-246-1166. We'd be happy to schedule some time to meet with you if you feel that you need further service. Thank you. Have a great day.